Today is an important day in YNW Melly's legal battle, in case you missed it. His legal team is certain that they have crafted a strong release package backed by arguments from two distinct legal viewpoints. And his bail hearing is presently underway. They believe that this two-pronged strategy increases the chances of his release. On the other hand, Melly's conditions in prison have been especially worrisome. His mother recently revealed startling details regarding his treatment, claiming that he isn't even receiving human-like treatment, since correctional facilities are required by law to treat prisoners humanely. It is a major problem.
You saw Melly's statement just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life. As a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to some.
As part of their defense strategy, Melly's defense team plans to present evidence from the first trial that clearly contradicts federal accusations. The prosecution insists that the deaths happened inside a Jeep, despite Melly's attorney's claims to the contrary. On the other hand, they assert that GPS information from his phone indicates that at the exact moment of the incident, he was seen running down a street and hiding in a bush. The evidence completely defies the prosecution's narrative if this is true.
The part where he's saying that someone just shot the car up and was trying to shoot him. So I asked him if he was okay, where he was, and he's like, there's a car coming behind him, like hiding. He was like, there's some, there's some, I think they're still out here or something. So I'm like, are you okay? He's like, I'm okay. I said, well, where are Sack and Juvie? And he said, I don't know if they're in the car. I think they're...
To bolster their argument even further, Melly's attorneys will point to a significant aspect of the first trial: the complete absence of a pistol at the scene. They claim that this crucial component backs up the defense's drive-by defense and casts doubt on the prosecution's timeline, since it implies a drive-by shooting rather than a car murder because no gun was ever located.
The first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which firearm I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this determination because I don't know what firearm was used.
Okay.
Text message allegedly sent from Melly's phone a few hours after the murders, however, is among the strongest pieces of evidence. It claims that Melly said, "I did that." Prosecutors are not going to back down. If confirmed, it might be taken as a confession, giving prosecutors a powerful weapon to disprove any evidence the defense presents.
Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly count says what?
After that, SHHH.
Video evidence from Melly's phone, particularly a Facebook live stream that was recorded 6 hours after the murders, was also used by the prosecution. According to authorities, Melly and YW Bortland can be seen dancing in a parking lot in the video, exhibiting a surprising lack of remorse that further raises questions about their mental health just after the murder.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! No, still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
The biggest bombshell was revealed by an unlikely source. A renegade member of the Oblak crew suggested that money might have been the real driving force. The motive that turns this case from a mystery into one that might be motivated by avarice is Melly's apparent refusal to continue sharing his gains with the other YNW members. Their departed companions, Sakaiser and Juvie, showed no signs of grief.
Vaughn really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Vaughn was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? What the bam? I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around?
The claim becomes more complex. The source claims that although YNW was organized as an LLC and business, Melly and Bortland were earning money via deals, products, and performances, while Juvie and Sakasar were making minimal contributions and yet demanded a part, in a potentially devastating move for Melly's case. Prosecutors have now filed motions to try Melly and Borland together in the future trial. Melly also allegedly told King Von about this motivation.
And you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. Just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once. And also, you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking a penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found.
This is why that strategy might be effective. Bortland won't want to face the repercussions in silence, if he is aware that he is not responsible for the killings. Many believe that Bortland may turn on Melly to defend himself if he were under duress. Melly's own attorney subtly expressed doubts about Bortland's guilt during the first trial, which may have set the groundwork.
His lives. Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with two bodies, car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Cortland.
The claims made by Melly's lawyer that Bortland had lied to federal investigators from the start, and that he had gunpowder residue on his hands, and at the crime scene confirmed that idea. In order to directly blame Bortland, the defense even called in a forensic expert who testified that the residue was compatible with someone who had recently fired a weapon.
So the right hand of Cortland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of hot residue and two component particles. And the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of hot residue and 1 2-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was hot residue present on the hand.
Melly and Bortland are believed to have not spoken to one another since the incident. Tensions reached a breaking point when Melly's mistrial was announced, and Bortland responded with the cryptic tweet, "Mind games don't work on people like me." Many others took his handshake emoji as a sign that he was being pressured to keep quiet. According to Melly's attorney, Bortland's remarks will make matters worse. Once evading testifying, Melly's ex-girlfriend is now back and prepared to speak.
Maya Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
When Melly's ex-girlfriend Mariah returned to the United States. She was arrested at the airport, but was surprisingly freed a few minutes. Later, in a heartfelt message, she wrote, "Thank you to my village, God's plan, not mine." That's when the truth came out. She had made a deal with prosecutors in exchange for her testimony against Melly, and she was immediately freed. Even worse, disturbing evidence discovered in her iCloud account showed that Melly allegedly attempted to dissuade her from testifying, which is a charge of witness tampering, which carries a life sentence regardless of the murder outcome.
Filing 6 new charges against Demmons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
Since witness tampering is considered a distinct case with equally harsh consequences, even if Melly is found not guilty of murder, it could still ruin his future. How did the feds find out about this tampering? Juvie's father undertook his own in-depth investigation after individuals in Melly's hometown started discussing Mariah's involvement on Facebook. He spoke with locals and discovered coded language that Melly allegedly used to coerce Mariah into silence.
Mel Demmons, YNW Melly, and Cortland Henry, who is known as YNW Bortland, are now charged with witness tampering. There was this kind of crazy way that Melly was communicating. He wasn't allowed to use the phone, but he was passing notes to people, and then this person's calling this person, and then that person.
Saying like to me, they're going through extreme measures, try to cover up or convince people not to testify, like Mariah mom. They was using code words like Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's baby mom.
Because of this purported tampering with jail phones, Melly's phone privileges have been totally terminated. His mother, Jaime King, was so upset over the treatment that she publicly accused the jail of mistreating her son and violating his rights in an emotional interview.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it.
The big question is whether this mountain of evidence is enough to keep Melly in jail permanently, or if his legal team will pull off a miracle. If Melly was actually using jail phones for witness tampering, the authorities probably have concrete proof that they wouldn't risk legal repercussions. By denying his rights based only on suspicions, please share your thoughts in the comments section.